Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, went on Fox News, or I guess, yeah, this is Fox News. I thought it was Fox Business. And Neil Cavuto asked him about the airline industry, and Buttigieg gives a horrible answer. So you guys know, we covered this recently. The airlines are a mess right now. They're basically committing fraud left and right. They're booking planes that they know they don't have pilots for, and it's a joke. It's horrendous. And so Cavuto is actually going to ask some adversarial questions here, and let's see how Mayor Pete handles it, and then I'll give you some more facts.
Unfortunately, to your point, though, Secretary, these guys, the airline industry, through COVID, received better than $50 billion in taxpayer support. Understandable at the time when their whole business ground to a halt because of COVID. But what did they do with that money, and how were they not prepared for the demand that would inevitably come as the economy got back and people got back to flying?
That's right. Look, tens of billions of dollars of taxpayer support went to these airlines for the purpose of keeping people in their jobs. And part of the idea was, if we keep people employed, that means that, we'll have that airline sector up and running for when the demand comes back. Now the demand has come back faster than most people thought possible, part of a general return of demand and spending in our economy that happened much more quickly than expected. Of course, that's a good thing, but the airlines have to be prepared to service the tickets that they sell.
Well, where did that money go, sir? Where did that money go? Now, a lot of that money came before you took office. I understand.
Here's where the money went. So here's where the money went. Here's where the money went. It went to keep people on the job and prevent people from being laid off and furloughed.
But it didn't, because they found a loophole, as we talked about recently. And Pete's even going to bring up the loophole. So where'd that money really go?
The way the bill was set up, it said you can't fire anybody. Now, here's what happened, though. While they complied with the bill in that technical sense, you still saw the airlines guide a lot of their pilots and experienced crews into early retirement. And so, that did.
So they violated the spirit of the law and said, no, but we didn't violate the letter of the law, so it's okay. See, that's where, if you have balls and if you're fighting for the people, you go, you're not doing that. And if you do that, we're just going to take that money back. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all.
Didn't violate the terms of all this taxpayer money that came to them. It said you can't fire people. Early retirement's a little different. But what these buyouts and retirements did was they left these airlines unprepared to service those routes. And now that's coming back to bite the entire system.
So what are you going to do about that? You're the transportation secretary. How are you going to fix that?
So that is a real concern, and I think passengers are understandably asking, wait a minute, with all this taxpayer funding going over, why are we seeing the system not able to keep up with demand now that passengers are ready to fly again?
We bailed them out. We said, hey, we're only going to bail you out if you don't lay people off. They said, sure, we won't lay people off. They effectively laid people off and shrunk the workforce massively. And now we're seeing the consequences of that. So look at what happened. Look at what happened. We effectively rolled out the red carpet for them, let them loot the treasury, then they stab us in the back anyway, even though the terms of the deal were you can't stab us in the back. Where'd all that money go? I don't know. Where'd all that money go? Oh, look, Bloomberg. U.S. Airlines spent 96% of free cash flow on buybacks. Where'd all the money go? Looks like corporate greed is where a lot of it went. By the way, I got more for you. So More Perfect Union says, Pete Buttigieg says he hasn't seen all the math come back on Senator Sanders' proposal to fine airlines for canceling and delaying flights they knew couldn't be staffed. And they say there were 15,542 flights that were delayed. 15,542. And 1,564 were canceled on July 4th weekend. Bernie wants fines up to $55,000 per passenger. That is a strong disincentive. That's a way to say, hey, you guys better fix this, or it's going to cost you a lot of money. You know what will happen if you do that? They'll fall in line. They'll fix it. And how do we know that? Well, Warren Gunnels lays out here. Here's some math from Senator Sanders' June 28th letter. 10 months after Obama's transportation secretary implemented the $27,500 per passenger tarmac delay rule, there was a 98% reduction in tarmac delays. Massive fines for poor performing airlines worked in 2010. Time to double down. So in other words, what's not going to work is Pete Buttigieg calling meetings with the airlines and saying, oh gosh, you guys are so important to the fabric of this country, and I hope you do the right thing, and we're going to keep our eye on you and make me proud and do the right thing. That ain't going to work. That's effectively the approach he's taking. What will work is the stick. Not the carrot, the stick. It worked before. It can work again now. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. But the neoliberal brain rot of these corporatists leads them to almost never choose the tough on corporations approach, even when they give them every reason in the world to react that way. I mean, it's inexcusable the way that these airlines function. I mean, they basically scammed the entire country. They're committing fraud against the entire country. And the transportation secretary is twiddling his thumbs. So, anyway, you guys get the gist of it. Bernie's proposals make sense, and they should be implemented immediately. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.